evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. Got another one for you and all my audience out there. If you are interested in the scam series, again, if you're interested in the scam series, there's only one place to get it. It is right here on the 411 Talk Zone radio show. And tonight, I know everybody's thinking about Christmas shopping, about 5 days away. But something that individuals don't know what's going on with their credit cards. I'm going to tell you, there's a skimmer scam. Basically, and it happened to me. And every time I do the scam series, I'm going to always give you an incident that happened to me. And a debit card. Those scams out there are also real. But tonight, we're going to talk about credit card skimmers. Now, what does a skimmer do? And where do you find a skimmer? Well, one place I'll tell you where you're going to find it is at a gas station. What that skimmer does, it reads your credit card. You can find it on a gas pump. Now, you can also find that skimmer on an air pump. Remember when you pumped your tire up, you could get free air, and they started charging you $1.25. Now you can use your credit card. And I believe Exact there, CTAIR, Exact there, that's one of them that has a skimmer on it. I know. It happened to me. In fact, it happened to me with my debit card. And when I saw the transactions on my debit card, it came up to be about $400 and something. Now, what was bought with $400 and something? Pizza and potato chips, soda. I live here in the state of Indiana, and the scam took place in Kansas. And it looked like I was having a big party. Well, I wasn't. Now, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to deal with this right now. How to spot and avoid credit card skimmers. Now, this one comes from information regarding Capital One. So I'm going to leave the link at the bottom of this video. So this comes from Capital One, very good source. And the question is, how to spot and avoid credit card skimmers. Now, first, before we get into how to spot and avoid credit card skimmers, what are they? Well, if you're protective of your credit and debit card information, you have a good reason. You may have heard about illegal credit card skimmers that are installed at gas pumps, ATMs, and other locations. Now, this is no joke because these devices can steal credit and debit card information, and that generally costs financial institutions and consumers more than $1 billion each year, and this is according to the FBI. Now, the key takeaways are credit card skimmers are one way for fraudsters to steal financial information. Again, credit card skimmers are one way for fraudsters to steal your credit card information. Now, I will say this because I couldn't find what happened to my debit card, but I will tell you, skimmers aren't always easy to identify, but knowing where to look will help you. Also, checking your card transactions on a regular basis and setting up account alerts can help you spot suspicious activity. Now, I have Navy Federal Credit Union, and if they find any type of activity on my account, they will give me a call, whether it is automated. And if it's a debit card and my debit card or credit card, they get compromised, well, they have to close out that card. Now, this is common sense. If you notice any suspicious activity on your credit and debit card accounts, call your bank. Now, you have to keep tabs everywhere you go. Even Capital One has a mobile app. Now, this is what I don't like about this new type of technology. Yes, it's part of our lives, but technology has caused a lot of us to slip in a lazy zone because we're letting all the technology do the work for us. But underhandedly, you have a lot of your criminals. They're getting smart with technology. They know how to steal information from you. They know how to take a website and make it look like unofficial business website. Now, when I get into cybersecurity and how to find out how to differentiate the real websites from the fake websites, you'll have the information because it's going to be very clear. I've already done the research. That video is coming very soon too. But getting back to technology, what I don't like about the technology is they give you these new cards today. Now, it used to be the old cards had the raised numbers and no chip. I am not particularly fond of the chip because you know something else that could happen. Your information can be compromised if you stick your chip card in your wallet. You know, to have a reader that can read your information from your card. People don't know that. Now, they have all types of apps that you can protect yourself with. Now, one thing that I'm going to tell you, if you have a debit card or a credit card, it's best to just freeze your credit card and debit card. Now, if any of you don't know what a debit card really is, it's basically used to be an old check writing card. So people who didn't have checks could use the Visa logo. And because that debit card has a Visa logo, you could also use it as a credit card. Now, there's no interest because it's not a credit card. It is a debit card, but it's basically used to take money from your account. And when you purchase something with your debit card, your bank holds the amount that you paid to merchants. And then after 1 to 3 business days, the account clears. It's just like writing a check. Now, there are overdraft fees if you don't have enough money in your account with a debit card, and there are protections. Mine's up to $500. I have Navy Federal Credit Union. Now, let's get back on track. What is a credit card skimmer? Well, a credit card skimmer is a device that's sometimes installed illegally on ATMs, fuel pumps, or POSs, which are point of sale systems. So basically, when you swipe your card and you use the card reader, what's going to happen? Well, the skimmer can scan or skim or skim your card information. Let me repeat what I just said because some of you didn't hear me. Many of us have credit and debit cards. And what we do, particularly at a gas station or at an air pump, we will take our credit cards and swipe them. Now you can tap your credit cards. but a lot of us still swipe our credit and debit cards. So what happens? There's a card reader called a skimmer. So when you swipe your credit card, what that skimmer does, it scans or can skim your credit card information. And once the individuals have your credit card information, they will make illegal purchases by charging they'll charge your credit card. And this is where you get the illegal charges. And you can look at what state, because I had a few illegal charges on my debit card. One was for around $168. That's just this time. And it was in California. Somebody had purchased some cosmetics. And I called the bank. I said, I'm a guy. What do I need cosmetics for? Now, thankfully, it didn't get through. But I had another account for buy Gladiator gadgets, which when I looked up what Gladiator gadgets were, they were accessories for a Jeep Cherokee. Now, although the amount was $785, it was still not my account. So what I had to do, I had to call the bank. And since the credit card or the debit card, it was compromised, I had to destroy that debit card. And I had just gotten this credit card because previously had another account that was from Chegg, which is study materials. What happened? They know my email address. So what they did, they had charged $21.35 to the wrong Leon Jones. So I had to close that credit card out, that debit card, because it was compromised. And when we deal with skimmers, these skimmers, understand this. And if you go into some of these hood gas stations, well, you'll find skimmers. Find a lot of them. And if you go into some of these convenience stores, right, most of your skimmers are at gas pumps, ATMs, grocery stores, convenience stores, and department stores. And believe it or not, with this technology, some skimmers use Bluetooth devices to steal credit or debit card information as well. So this means the stolen credit or debit card information can then be sent to a thief's computer or phone. Again, here's a person that's using an ATM machine. See, most of us still don't know how skimmers work. But after you watch this video, you're going to understand what I'm saying about how they work. Now, basically, they work when a card is skimmed. Its details can be stolen via the card's magnetic strip, and then things like the cardholder's name, card number, and expiration date can be copied and used in fraudulent ways. And what happens with this is scammers could try to use the stolen data to, number one, what do you do with somebody's credit card or debit card? You're going to make unauthorized purchases online or over the phone. You're also going to sell the data to other scammers for a profit. You're going to take their information. You know how we talked about back in the days, counterfeit money? Well, you can use the information that was scanned to a computer and create counterfeit cards. And you can also use it for identity theft. Again, these skimmers, what they do, they utilize your magnetic strip to copy the information, your name, your number, your expiration date. And what the scammers do, they can sell the data to other scammers for profit, use it for identity theft, create counterfeit cards, and make unauthorized purchases online or over the phone. Now, something that I'm not real fond of is making a lot of purchases online, because when you make purchases online, you don't know who is watching your keystrokes. You don't know who is fishing for all of your data. You don't know who's out there. And this is why it's very important when it comes to using your debit or your credit card. Don't use it every day. I mean, if you're going to pay bills, you can do it without utilizing your credit card. Call customer service. Have them run the information. That's just one way to protect your information. Now, getting back to counterfeit cards. Now, just so you'll know, counterfeit cards, what they will do, they usually have the same information as the stolen card. So if they take your information and steal it and create a counterfeit card, well, what's going to happen is that card is going to be in your name, and you're going to find that there are going to be a lot of unauthorized purchases on your credit card. So, because the scammers have gotten so good, they can use this card in your name after they got the information and they design a counterfeit card. This is a replicated card. And because it's a replicated card, the original account can be charged. There have been people whose accounts have been empty from counterfeit cards. Now, something that we all have now are chip cards. Yes, I'm gonna have individuals that tell me, well, oh, you can't use these scams on chip cards. Oh, yes, you can. Do credit card skimmers work on chip cards? Although they're less common, there are thin devices called credit card shimmers that can be inserted inside chip reading slots. Shimmers are generally invisible from the outside of a card reading slot, and they can steal data from standard EMV chips. So the EMV chip, it's not a magnetic strip. So yes, you can still have your card information stolen when they use a shimmer. And again, a shimmer is very hard to detect. Now, what does a credit card skimmer looks like? Oh, correction. Let me use proper English here. What does a credit card skimmer look like? What does a credit card skimmer look like? Well, basically, credit card skimmers are designed to look like they're part of the POS system, which is a point of sale system that they're attached to. So basically, skimmers, some of them fit over the original card reader in the machine, but may appear more bulky. Now, if you want to find out even more information on what they look like, the Federal Trade Commission, and of course, this information is out of Los Angeles County Consumer and Business Affairs. They have websites that have pages to show you what skimmers might look like. Now, something you need to know. How do you spot a credit card skimmer? Well, credit card skimmers aren't meant to be seen, so you might not notice one at first glimpse, but there are some ways you can better spot one before you swipe your card. First, look at the card reader. Check to see if the card reader looks intact. And if there is any piece of the machine that's bulging or raised or out of alignment, does it look like part of the machine is covering another part where it shouldn't be? If so, That could be a sign that a skimmer has been installed. Number two, inspect the card reader. So many of us were so nonchalant about this. You can also try to feel around the card reader for a skimmer. Now, if the machine feels like it's coming apart in some places or like a piece of it isn't sturdy or properly installed, that's a sign that a skimmer could be in place. There's also a chance something loose is out of alignment where you can put your card in a reader. But by that time, it could be too late to stop the scam. So, what the FTC suggests is to give the card reader a little wiggle before inserting your card. If it moves, you can report it to an employee and find a new option or place of business. Also, check the security seal. Why? Because at gas pumps, you can look for skimming devices by checking to see if there's an intact security seal near the card reader. Now, if the pump panel is open or its seal is broken, again, if the pump panel is open or if the seal has been broken, the FTC says the label will read void. That's the sign that there might be a skimmer installed. Something else, compare with other gas pumps and machines. So, if you're at a gas station, take a quick look at the other pumps around you to see if they look like the pump you're getting ready to pump your gas from. Do the card slot and keypad at your pump look about the same as the others? If not, or if anything looks like it is bulging or out of place, that also might be a sign of a skimmer. And when it comes to choosing a pump, the FBI suggests picking a pump that's closer to the store or in direct view of the attendant. Those pumps are less likely to be targeted by fraudsters. Again, stay aware. Remember the big picture. If something feels off, it might be worth it to mention it to an employee, find another way to pay, or go somewhere else. Now, I'm going to say this. I know we have new ways of utilizing this technology, but I still believe that so many good old fashioned ways work. If you know you're going to get gas and you don't want to be scammed, I would go to a bank where they have the ATM machine inside that bank. I wouldn't necessarily go to a convenience store or a Walmart. I wouldn't. I would also look at whose names are on the pump or on the ATM machine. Is it Fifth Third Bank? Is it Huntington Bank? Is it Navy Federal Credit Union? My best bet is sometimes you have to carry cash, but many of us aren't carrying cash around. Why? Because somebody could hit you over the head and take your cash from you. And ever since 2020, scams have been rising, and the people who are doing the scamming, they've been getting smarter. Now, with all that being said, when it comes to these skimmers, here's how to prevent credit card skimming. These are the things that are going to help you protect yourself from skimming, shimming, and other frauds and scams. Number one, and this is why you have to be vigilant, inspect the card reader and keyboard. And what I mean by that is you must follow the tips to try to spot skimmers. Now, I've already given you the information in this video. You want to avoid being scammed with skimmers? Look at the card reader, inspect the card reader, check the security seal, compare with other gas pumps and machines, and stay aware. And remember, if the card reader or keypad feels loose, out of alignment, or out of place, there's a good chance it could have a skimmer attached. If that's the case, avoid it, but alert the business, because you got to care about your fellow man or woman. You don't want them to get scammed either, because everybody is vulnerable, no matter how smart you are, to being scammed, and you won't even know it. Also, look for hidden cameras. Why? Because shimmers may also be paired with a hidden camera to record a personal identification number. That's your PIN. Even a keypad overlay to record your keystrokes. So look closely above the card reader to see if there are any holes pointing down to where you enter a PIN. Keep in mind that such machines, such as ATMs, have legitimate security cameras. But regardless of what kind of camera may be there, the FBI suggests covering the keypad when you enter your PIN to prevent any cameras from recording it. Also, consider how you pay. This is very important, because swiping and inserting your credit card and swiping and inserting your credit card or debit card aren't the only ways to pay with a card. If you have a contactless credit or debit card, you can simply tap it to the machine instead of inserting it. If you're at a gas station, paying through the app or inside with an attendant may offer more protection. And if you're using an ATM, cardless machines or machines in high traffic areas or inside bank branches may be more secure, just like I said before. Now, also, use your credit card. Again, when you have a debit card, it's a check card. It's much easier to get into your debit cards. So if you have a debit card, freeze your debit card. Now, when it comes to credit cards, while credit cards and debit cards are typically both safe options, credit cards may have slightly more protection than debit cards. So if fraud were to occur with your credit card, for example, if your account number was used, but your credit or debit card wasn't stolen or lost, you shouldn't be on the hook for the amount lost. That's with a credit card. Now, with a debit card, you must report fraudulent activity within 60 days of your statement date to avoid liability for your loss. Now, I say this because what happened to me when I checked my account, I saw something that was suspicious. I called the bank that day and they sent me another debit card overnight. I wouldn't even wait 60 days. I would just call at that point, because your bank, what they're going to do, they're going to fill out a form, they're going to refund you the money, and they're going to do some investigation. And once they do some investigation, they're going to also determine whether the transaction was unauthorized. But getting back to cards, the question is too, what to do if your card is skimmed? Well, as I said before, regularly check your bank accounts and your credit card accounts. Why? Because if you are very nonchalant with checking your accounts, you're not even going to know there's suspicious activity. I regularly check my accounts. Know what you're paying. Know how you're paying. Know what the amount is. Again, checking your bank and credit card accounts regularly might help you notice if there are suspicious or fraudulent charges on your credit card or debit card accounts. Now, as I said before, if your account or accounts have been compromised, report it to your bank or the credit card issuer immediately. You can do this by dialing the number on the back of your card. Now, again, credit card skimming in a nutshell. I'm just going to say this. Overall, credit and debit cards are very safe to use, and many issuers, including Capital One, offer tools and features to help keep accounts secure. But safety features don't always guarantee protection, so it's important to learn ways you can protect yourself. Number one is by watching this video. Number two, the reason why I say watch this video, because I've been through it myself. So I have to be more vigilant. And you have to watch out for potential warning signs. Contact your credit card issuer or your bank if you suspect your account has been compromised. Again, some of these phones have apps. So if you have a Capital One or Navy Federal Credit Union app, keep tabs on your account. Remember, it's your money. And if you don't follow the right procedures, you're going to lose your hard-earned money. Now, again, what I'm doing is I'm giving you some information on how to protect yourself. And you know, this is Christmas time. Everybody's out there shopping. And this is when the criminals are beefing up their smarts so they can take from you. And if you don't know how to protect yourself, you're going to be out of money. That's why I said, don't take your account for granted. Watch how you're paying, particularly if you're paying online. Now, I'm going to share my screen again. Share my sound. And we're going to talk about credit card skimmers in this video. This is for educational purposes only. So what I'm going to say is fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Fair use. Bear with me. Share my sound. If this one doesn't play, I go to the next one. That one doesn't look like it's going to play. Let's try another one.
Monthly billing statement. Keep an eye out for an unfamiliar charge.
Yes, investigators say that they are seeing more and more card skimmer devices that can actually steal your banking info directly from your credit or debit card. Jake Karalexis is in Tacoma, Washington for us tonight. And Jake, what do we need to know about these skimmers?
Anthony and Tia, these card skimmers attach onto card readers, which makes them tough to see. So when you go to pay for something using your credit or debit card at a card reader, the skimmer copies your financial information from the card. Police say that these skimmers are getting even harder to detect, and they're popping up all over the country.
It slides right over the top, and you can barely tell that they're even there.
Sergeant Darren Moss with the Pierce County Sheriff's Department says thieves plant those card skimmers at all sorts of businesses, including gas stations and grocery stores.
So it captures the information that's on that magnetic stripe, which then allows the scammers or the hackers or the attackers to either use those card numbers online or to create new cards.
In the last 3 months, more than 30 U.S. cities have reported skimmer thefts, and Moss says a lot more go unnoticed.
It's not often that they're found, and again, the thieves will put them on there, maybe leave them up for a couple days, one night or a week, and then come and take it away.
Skimmers have been around for a while, but thieves are getting smarter.
In the old days, they were oftentimes very recognizable. They were clunky. They looked like they didn't belong. But oftentimes now they're inside the card reader. So they're inside the slot. And so they're really almost impossible to see.
Moss says there's a couple of things people can do to make themselves less vulnerable to skimmer thefts.
Go inside of the store and use that machine instead, because there's a clerk always at the counter. It's a lot harder for them to try to install it at the counter. If you avoid the swipe altogether and use a tap to pay, that's another way to avoid these card skimmers.
And a skimmer theft incident related to Illinois is last year there were a lot of members of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program who had their financial information stolen from skimmer devices, and some of them were in Illinois. In Tacoma, Washington, Jake Carolexis, Fox 32 Chicago.
All right, Jake, thank you for the heads up there.
Well, there you got a good view on what a skimmer looks like. Let me see if I can bring this other video up here. Because like I said, this is very important information, and what I'm doing, I am making you all aware. Just bear with me one moment now. All right, back. And what I'm going to do is share some more with you. Fair use. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use.
Now we're going to turn to a growing danger as you swipe your credit card, skimming. According to the FBI, it costs consumers and financial institutions more than $1 billion every year. Gio Benitez joined us with how you can protect yourself. And Gio, a big question, what exactly is skimming?
Hey, Michael, so take a gas pump, for example. A criminal may open up this payment terminal and secretly install a device you won't even know it's there. But when you swipe that credit card, they steal all of your data. And this morning right here, the Secret Service actually says skimming is on the rise.
Watch as a man dressed as a construction worker places what police say is called a skimmer on top of a credit card terminal in a Fresno, California convenience store while his partner works to distract the store employee.
One of them requests assistance from the clerk to go back there and help him out. Meanwhile, the second suspect, in just a matter of seconds, pulls out a skimmer, places it over the point of transaction area.
The skimmer then gathering data from unsuspecting customers who swipe their credit card, feeding the information to the suspects who police say they're still looking for. And in Watsonville, California, watch as another suspect also quickly attaches a skimmer, police later confiscating the device. This suspect was caught and charged with possession and use of a credit card skimmer. He pleaded not guilty. And more cases in D.C. and Oakland where suspects are still at large. The U.S. Secret Service, which safeguards payment systems, says skimming crimes are on the rise.
We're just coming off of a 2-year period where it was okay for bad guys to wear masks to do their crime, and where it became very brazen in that period. So it seemed like activity definitely ramped up the COVID era.
And experts warn it's not only happening inside gas stations.
There's three main avenues of skimming that occur inside of our payment ecosystem. We have point of sale overlay terminals, we have gas pump skimming, and we have ATM skimming.
But the Secret Service says overlay terminals, where the criminal puts the device over an existing card reader, are the most common. The device pulling information from the magnetic strip on the back of your credit card.
What's on that magnetic stripe is actually your account information, the CCV number, the expiration date, your name, all those different things.
All right, so how do you protect yourself? Well, we talked about that magnetic stripe. Try using the tap feature. A lot of those credit cards have that now. Try tapping instead of swiping your card. Also, grab your phone. If you have a mobile wallet like Apple Pay, try using that instead. And when you're here at the keypad, just kind of touch the numbers, see if they're a little bit loose. If it feels different, if it feels funny, just try to move on to the next terminal and don't use that one. You really just got to protect yourself here because this is very difficult to figure out, guys.
Hey, Gio, those were all great suggestions. Thank you. Very, very helpful there. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel.
What you just saw, you actually got a chance to see what a skimmer looked like. I showed you two videos. And again, you have to use common sense to protect yourself. And like I said, it's happened to me. You don't know what these skimmers are. And these hackers are getting smarter and smarter. And my job is to make sure that you all protect yourselves. So one of the most important things you need to understand is try not to swipe your card. Tap your card. There are a lot of places that you can tap your card now. And if you have a mobile app, use the mobile app as well. Because in the end, you live once, you work hard for your money. And if you want to keep most of your money, we already get enough confiscated in taxes. We don't need to make these criminals millionaires and billionaires for not wanting to do anything. So be aware. Watch your accounts. Because right now, money's tight. Everybody's looking to survive. If you let the criminals defeat you, they're going to be living off of a free ride. So in the end, take care of yourself and understand that scams are going to be with us. It's my job to make sure that we reduce scams. Want more videos like this? Let me know in the comment section. I'm gonna keep the scam series going because it's important that you understand what these scams are, how they work. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 401 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking for some STEM content, check out the QCIS channel right here on YouTube as well. On that channel, I'll give you a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and of course, math. Now, if you can't find the 401 Talk Zone radio show or the QCIS channel on YouTube, you can find both of those channels on Twitter. And for the QCIS channel, since it is an educational channel, take it one step further. You can also find that channel on my LinkedIn page. And in the end, be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. Once again, thank you for listening to this edition for 11 Talk Zone Radio Show right here on YouTube. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. You all have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.